Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. And as you can see, I'm perched up here on top of the world. I'm at Port Stephens up on Mount Tomaree. It's a beautiful sunny autumn day, hardly any breeze, and just a beautiful temperature with the sun just nurturing my face, my body. It's just glorious being up here. Let me just give you a 360 just to show you the magnificent view that I have up here. All the way up there to Hawk's Nest, Mount Yakabar, and all the way up to Broughton Island and the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. So thank you for once again joining me on this adventure where I try and incorporate the beauty of this land around us and match it up and couple it with a empowering message, a message that can help us get through the morning, get through the day, teach us something new, and basically allow us to be exposed to and springboard off OPE, other people's experiences. So today's book summary that I'm going to go through is entitled Pitch Anything. Pitch Anything by an author named Oren Klaff, and it's basically a book summary which teaches us how to become better communicators and better at influencing people around us in a nice way, in a good way, as opposed to in an evil way. So the first thing that the author reminds us of, and this is a scientific approach in terms of how the brain is structured and how we need to structure our presentations and our pitches in order to get through to people and to activate action and their need to do something. Because the author here tells us very bluntly at the beginning of his book that there are limits to the human attention span, and which is why a pitch needs to be brief, concise, and interesting. My daughter Catherine always hounds me about my Jim's 5 a.m. clubs and tells me that they're far too long and that I need to make them more concise and more interesting. So I'm trying. Catherine, get that in, I'm trying, but I've got a long way to go still. I think when I get to my 1000th vlog, I'll be in a position then to start implementing your advice and your improvements and chopping them down and making them more interesting. Because the author here reminds us of a thing called neuroeconomics, and it focuses on a part of the brain that makes economic decisions and the irrational stuff that the brain relies on. Because there are three types of brain that we have, or three levels of brain that we have, and each of those levels need to be understood in order to enable us to get to the next stage. Because you can't go to the third base without going through the first and second base, is what the author is suggesting. So the author here in their first formal point says that you need to make sure that your pitch speaks to your audience's brain, its basic brain, or its awareness brain. So our brains evolved in 3 stages, and this is really interesting because I never knew this quite to this level. As humans were created, made, they have 3 levels of brain that they were created with. And the first stage is called the Croc Brain, or the lizard brain, according to Seth Godin. And it's our basic, it's the oldest part of our brain. And it's the stupid part of our brain, but it's stupid but keeps us alive. It's the part of the brain that is the most basic, but it's a part of the brain that is designed to enable us to freeze, fight, or flight. So it looks for things which are exciting, it looks for clues which are threatening in our environment, and it is able to trigger some very, very strong emotions. So it's our instinctive brain that gets triggered at times of excitement, of danger, and it's a part of our brain which is stupid. It's not logical. It just reacts. It doesn't respond, it reacts. But this is the part of the brain that we need to get through first in order to get to the second and third level parts of our brain. But at the end of the day, it's the first part of the brain that we need to seduce, that we need to engage with strongly in order to make powerful decisions, albeit they're irrational decisions. But whenever we buy things, we don't normally buy things based on rational decision. We just buy things based on feeling. So the trick is to engage and to trigger and to stimulate those feelings. So our brains evolved in 3 stages, leaving us with 3 levels of stuff to process, is the way that the author talks about it. 3 levels of stuff to process. So we've got the basic brain, the croc brain, the lizard brain, the reptilian brain is what other people describe it as. And then we've got a mid-level brain, the midbrain, which processes visual and auditory information and allows us to socially interact. So we need to get past the fear and trigger the excitement in terms of our croc brain, and then we need to stimulate the visual and auditory parts of the brain, because this part of the brain, this midbrain, processes complicated bodily functions like sleep and temperature. But it does have a big impact on how we react and how we act. And the last part of the brain in this 3-step process is the neocortex, which is the last key part of the brain that separates us from all animals and all other creation. And it's in charge of our abstract thinking, our analysis, our ability to analyze complex situations, and our logical reasoning. So that's the 3rd part of our brain. So the author talks about when pitching to our croc brain, or when pitching in general, our croc brain is the first one that picks up. So we need to start simple. Start simple, else the subject will zone out. So we need to start our pitches with something new, even if it's not new. Just make it look new or feel new or sound new. So we've got to start with something new. It's got to be exciting, or we've got to create some excitement, and it's got to be positive. So we first need to capture people's attention, because if you don't capture people's attention with your presentation, then you've got them lost from the beginning. If you start too complicated, you've got them lost. It's a little bit like commercial foreplay or sexual foreplay. You need to start slow, you need to start and take time. You need to take time to get to where you want to get to. So we need to start slow, it needs to be new, and we need to create excitement, and we need to move steadily but deliberately, but we can't go to the wham bam thank you man from the beginning. You can't get to the quickie because you'll end up spoiling everything. So the next formal point to come out of this book is that you need to turn yourself into the prize. Rather than chasing the prize, you need to do whatever you can do to be the prize, so that the people come to you. So you need to create some sort of reward system where you're the reward, which will stimulate others and encourage others to make a decision and to come with you on your journey. So you need to capture the attention first and then try to convince. Don't try and convince or over-convince unless you've got their attention. You need to make them feel comfortable. You need to get them sitting comfortably in their seat, moving their bottom and getting ready for the next part of the presentation. So the most convincing of all is the person who doesn't try to convince. The big mistake that we all try and do is we try to be too convincing. You know, and we've come across those salespeople, we've come across those uncles, those aunts, those friends, those Amway salespeople who are just too sharp, too smooth, and too convincing, and that whole process just turns you off. I don't know if you've experienced it, but I'm sure we all have experienced it in our lifetimes, where you just get turned off and you switch off, and once you've switched off, you've made a decision not to engage, not to buy, then it's almost impossible to make you move from your decision. So you need to position yourself instead of the prize, as the prize, sorry, you need to position yourself as the prize as opposed to the contestant. And the last thing you need to do is you need to get people to make gut decisions. You need to get people to instinctively want to do what you want them to do, rather than to logically get them to do what they want to do. So you need to play with feelings. You need to play with emotion. You need to be deliberate, because all people secretly want people to hold them by the hand and take them on a journey. So you're not going to get people fighting you as long as you take them on a journey and they know the journey that they're going on, and it's an exciting one, it's an interesting one, it's a new journey. And even if it's an old journey, you need to try and pitch it like it's something new. And when you get them all excited, when you get the primal, the basic, the reptilian brain interested and relaxed, so it's not fight or flight, then you're in a position to then coax them to the next level. And the way you do that is through multiple frames, using multiple frames and multiple lenses. And it's called frame stacking. Frame stacking, which is a concept that enables hot cognitions, because the sort of frames that you can use are limit frames, where people know that there's a limited opportunity for them to act. You can do this through a time frame where you set a deadline for people to act and tell them that other people are interested in buying this car, or other people are interested in going on this holiday. Something that'll get people to want to act, and want to act immediately, even if it's irrational or illogical. Because most people, and I know this with myself, most people don't need to wait for all the information to be presented. There is a point that I know myself when I'm talking with somebody, when I meet somebody for the first time, there's a point where I say to myself, tick, 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 I love this person, I want to hang out with them. And you just know that they're the person that you want and feel comfortable with. And I'm the sort of person, if I like you from the beginning, if we click from the beginning, then we're friends for life, until something happens which makes me makes me feel as if I'm no longer necessary or no longer needed, then I'm happy to move on. But if people are friendly, or people, what's the word I'm looking for, appreciate our company and our friendships, then I'm the sort of loyal person that you'll have by your side for life. So we just need to understand that we need to trust our gut, and other people around us that we're pitching to are also people who trust their gut. So you need to get them to trust their gut, And I've been to seminars. I've been to an Anthony Robbins seminar where at the end of the seminar, he talks about his next program. So the seminar that you go to costs $500, but the next seminar, the next level up, is a $20,000 Date with Destiny seminar, which could be held in Australia, could be held internationally overseas. And the pitch that he goes through, and the amount of excitement and opportunity and potential that he creates in your mind. The number of people who right there and then, even if they haven't got the money, sign up to a $20,000 seminar is just phenomenal. You've got to be there to see it, to witness it, to understand it, to feel it, to know how it works. And when you see it expressed in its best form, the person is using multiple frames and taking people through step by step, peeling the onion, so to speak, taking them through the Croc Brain, their primitive brain, to their midbrain, to the neocortex, and then just telling them, act now, do it now, because if you miss out now, you may pay the consequences later off, and you'll be looking back over your life and regretting not making this decision and not taking this action at this point in time. So it's really, really powerful. So this lesson, the lessons that come from this book summary are really, really powerful. And we need to learn how to use them, how to engage them, to A, get hooked on the beauty of our own lives, but also to make sure that the people in our lives are hooked and willing to come with us along the journey and to stick with us and to benefit from the opportunity. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club, where I'm up top here at Mount Tomaree, and we're enjoying this beautiful, beautiful day, this Monday, the day after Easter. And let's finish off with the positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and most importantly, let's learn to pitch and be effective at pitching, at influencing not only others, but also ourselves, and getting to understand that we have a croc brain, we have a primitive brain that is always on the lookout for danger, for excitement, for something new, so that we can either freeze, fight, or flight. And once we're comfortable in our own lives, and it's important to be comfortable, because if you're operating in fight or flight or freeze all the time, then the logical part, the rational part of your brain, the other parts of your brain don't get activated. So you need to stay calm, you need to stay present to get through the croc brain. And then we get to the midbrain, where we can visually and auditory and through our acoustically enjoy and engage what's happening around us. And then we get to our neocortex, which is the rational thought, where we think of things which are rational, and we can overcome the insecurities and the issues that we face that are caused by our environment, by the media, by our parents, by our friends, by anybody wishing to disturb and distract us from our goals and our dreams. So thank you once again, and I look forward to coming to you again from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, where we can live, learn, and pass it on. We can take some of these life hacks to help us get through the morning, get through the day, get through our lives, to be partners in each other's development, to be the wind beneath our wings, to help each other grow, develop, and become better versions of ourselves, and to help those around us. So take care, and thank you once again for sticking with me, because I promise you, I can teach you more about more things than everybody else that you've come across in your life, because I've made it my life's mission. I'm in the process of delivering 1,000 vlogs. I'm delivering book summaries, lessons, multiple lessons on a daily basis that we can all incorporate in our lives We can use them as springboards to solve the many challenges that may come our way. So trust me and trust yourself, but do something on a daily basis to improve yourself and to gain from the experiences that we have available to us. Γεια σας, φιλάκια και τα λέμε. Bye for now. Ciao.